in the 7, I'm gonna act up. I'ma need you to back up. I'ma need you to back up. Yep. I'ma need you to back up. Spilling the tea, stirring the cup. I'ma need you to back up. I'ma need you to back up. Yep. I'm in the 7, I'm
An overhead look at downtown Philadelphia. That's the site of our broadcast tonight. Hi, everyone. Thanks for joining us on 2K Sports. NBA action is coming up with Doris Berg, Greg Anthony, and David Aldridge, Kevin Harlan. And we welcome in someone who has been writing and communicating NBA basketball thoughts in book, over the air, in podcasts, and on TV, the terrific Bill Simmons. Bill, great to have you.
And now for somebody who's playing a video game at 3 in the morning. That's my next. That's the next phase for me.
But isn't this a great venue for
This is great.
I know.
This is great. They're half asleep. My voice is waking them up. I'm excited.
Bill Simmons is terrific.
Yeah. Wake up, wake up. I'm talking to you.
DA, it's all yours.
Guys, Celtics coach Brad Stevens is known for his play calling. Ron James said he has so many different wrinkles. You've got to keep your head on a swivel. He'll run something you've never seen before. But Stevens said, honest to God, I've stolen everything we've ever done from somebody else. Kevin?
I love his honesty. All right, thank you, DA. So with Ben Simmons and Joel Embiid, you have two players who consistently look to score in the paint.
Yep.
What's the best way, do you to blend those two talents?
Trade Ben Simmons. I think that would be the best way. I don't think long term that this is a fit together because he can't shoot. And you can cheat it and you can have him move off screens and you can have him try to establish the fast break and all that stuff. But we saw in the playoffs, when everything slows down, they didn't know where to put him on the basketball court. And he basically became Ben Wallace in the mid-2000s, like setting screens for people and rebounding. And for Embiid, I want to surround Embiid with shooters. I want to model a team almost like Milwaukee did with Giannis. I want somebody who can handle the ball not only in fast break, but half court too. And I just don't think they work together. I think there's a ceiling when you have those two guys as your best guys.
And now the opening lineup for Boston. Hayward at small forward with Tatum at the 4. Clutch out there with Brown. And it's Robinson in at the 5, roaming the paint. And for the 76ers, Richardson is out there with Markelle Fultz. Then it's Paul George. Then there's Embiid. And it's Gobert in at the 4. And so it's the 76ers getting on the board first. Back to Hayward. Clock at 6. Over Embiid. Hayward can't hit. And so George will bring it up for the Philadelphia 76ers. And Bill, of the championships you've watched the Celtics win, do you have a favorite?
I do, actually. 1984, came back against the Lakers in the Kevin McHale clothesline game. Brought them back to the Garden for Game 5. It was so hot, Kareem had to wear the oxygen mask. And then finished them off in Game 7.
Rambis was the recipient of that clothesline,
he was,
Yes.
And he deserved it. It's not like he didn't deserve it. But the Celtics were just tougher that year, and I try to forget that the next year they came back and beat the Celtics.
Richardson, good.
And I like to see this. They're calling his number early, and he's delivering.
They know that if this guy goes off, their chances of winning rise exponentially.
Now here's Hayward. Kicks to Robinson. Back to Hayward. Over George. Almost, but it rolls out.
That's a shot he makes with regularity, but that time the defense up to the challenge.
And Bill, when you yourself get out on the court, is there a play you try to channel or emulate, you try to visualize in your mind?
You mean when I'm playing pickup?
Yes, yes.
Oh, well now, at this point in my life, it's Davis Bertans. Is that how you say his name?
Yeah. Davis Bertans.
Davis Bertans?
Yeah, yes. By the way, what a great stroke.
I emulate all stretch fours who don't guard anybody.
Yeah.
That's who I am at this point in my life. I run from three-point line to three-point line.
You stay on the perimeter.
Yeah.
Don't tangle up inside.
My free throw attempts are 0 because I don't go to the line.
Just fire away.
And I want you to know I'm there to make an open jump shot. And don't ask me to do anything else, please. I'll set some picks.
Yeah. You are. You're a great screen
set some picks.
You're a great pick and roll.
Don't you love it when you've got a small forward who can pass the basketball just like Paul George did there? Makes it look easy.
Now about 3 minutes gone in the first quarter. The three from Tatum. And Philadelphia grabs the miss. Last meeting was in Boston, where they were unable to fight off the Celtics.
Yeah, in this game, they'll want to approach things a little differently, I think. Got blown out last time due to being a little too aggressive on the defensive side.
You know, there's a balance between that aggression and overdoing it. You can't reach in. These are things officials are looking to call.
And the 76ers will go for a different look here. Thomas Bryant, he's checked in for Embiid. Clint Capella comes in for Gobert. Tobias Harris is checked in for George. And it's Burke in for Markelle Fultz. And a new group in for the Celtics. Cantor, he's checked in for Mitchell Robinson. Daniel Tice comes in for Tatum. Marcus Smart's checked in for Gordon Hayward. And it's Kemba Walker in for Clutch. And first quarter, we're about 3.5 minutes in. Here's Walker. Good for the basket, starting off 1 for 1 with that shot.
Just setting the tone with an aggressive move to the rack. And where's the help defensively?
To me, Greg, that's a complete lack of communication on that side of the ball. These guys need to be talking to each other.
Now here's Burke. Here's Harris. Solid as a rock from 20 feet away.
This guy is a pick-your-poison kind of player. Very hard defensively to cover all your bases with him.
Walker with it. He picked up 15 points in their last win against Atlanta. From deep three-point range, and there's the shot clock violation. Couldn't get the shot off in time. There's 42 seconds left to play in the first. Burke, the pass to Harris. 14 feet away. The putback. He hangs in there and cashes in on the second chance points.
And their offense already in a flow. Some stellar shooting to jump out to this lead.
Walker, the pass to Tice. The kick out to Brown. Clock at 4, and it's out of bounds. They say it was last touched by Brown. .11 seconds left in the first quarter. Burke with the bounce pass. Here's Harris. Off the mark with the outside fadeaway. And so it's the Philadelphia 76ers with a 6-point lead at the end of the quarter. Their lead is where it is because they've gotten good shots. A lot of good shots. Back to the action after this word. Paul George had that nasty broken leg back in 2014. He describes what inspired him to come back even stronger.
My inspiration really came from my mother. You know, her dealing with stroke, her dealing with really being down and out. You know, I saw her fight back. That was enough for me. In my darkest days, I knew it was nothing to what my mom went through, and she came out perfectly fine, so.
Well, what a story. George worked hard to get back and is not disappointed in his return.
You know, recovering from a devastating injury is never easy, but George's perspective and commitment helped him to overcome it.
And thanks again for tuning in. If you're just joining us, we've played through 1 quarter of action so far. And guys, what's your take so far on Philadelphia?
What we saw in that first quarter, they won their matchups defensively.
I think across the board, a number of guys who've done a great job guarding multiple positions.
And now, brought to you by Gatorade, all fueled up and ready to go. Let's reset our lineups. Taking a look at the 76ers. Bryant is out there with Clint Capella. Then there's Burke. Then there's Tobias Harris. And it's Thibault in at the 2. The Celtics shooting their first free throws of this game. free throw good from Walker. Bill, if you were building a franchise from scratch, which one current player would you begin with or build around?
Probably Giannis, because he's
still
turning
young
25 this year.
Yeah.
I still feel like the ceiling of what he's going to do is go up as he becomes more of a shot maker. He's really durable, which I think is underrated. Like, he's just built to play basketball. There's certain guys like that. I think Kevin Garnett was like that. Tim Duncan was like that. Just guys who you just know are going to be around for 17, 18 years. The way I like to watch the running styles, and the game just comes so easy to him, and he's so athletic and really cares and is really competitive and just wants to do this and win at basketball. That's how I pick him.
He gets a chance now to catch up with the fourth member of our crew, Hall of Famer David Aldridge.
Kevin, Josh Richardson has made himself into one of the top defensive wings in the league. Richardson says there's a certain competitiveness that comes with being a good defender. The defensive end takes will, and I have a lot of it. Kevin J. Rich is self-described as super competitive, and that edge is what drives him.
It sure is. That's what it takes. Thank you, David. And Bill, we've seen more and more teams base their offenses around three-point shooters. Threes are at an all-time high. We know that. Should the NBA, that in mind, do anything to address this via any rule change? Which I don't know what that would mean, but it has been talked about.
I don't like changing. I think it's going to manifest itself with it doesn't work in the playoffs as well. And teams are going to slowly realize like that you need to blend an inside-outside game at least a little bit.
Well, you can't lose what the game is.
No,
it's bigs and smalls, it's inside, it's outside. And
it's still passing and unselfishness. The Warriors take a lot of threes, but they're the most unselfish team we have, and they create a lot of layups, and they play, they're really creative. And you just can't, that just can't be your thing is we shoot 53s, here's our offense. The problem is you're still going to get in these games where 2 points really matters, and that's what you saw with Kawhi in the playoffs last year. These games slow down, it's going to be a 92-89 ending, and your team needs to get 10 baskets in the fourth quarter, no matter how you're going to get them. You still need somebody who can do that too.
And the 76ers decide to take their first time out here. And the 76ers with a completely new group now. And a new group in for the Celtics. Robinson's checked in for Bismack Biyombo. Tatum comes in for Cantor. Gordon Hayward's checked in for Jaylen Brown. And it's Clutch in for Walker. Now, here is George. Makes it off the glass. George has got his second basket. And these Philadelphia fans, Bill, unafraid to boo anyone, including their stars on their own team in the playoffs.
And you. I think they might boo you because you did the call for the Kawhi shot, where you were just like,
on the heels of the Philly special in football.
Right.
I mean, they've had these two incredibly interesting moments in sports. Please stand by my side, though, okay, if you don't mind.
Kevin Harlan's a national treasure. Leave the man alone.
Here's Clutch. Paul George making his last shot. Shot clock at 6. No good that time. Good work defensively by Richardson. 1:57 left in the second quarter. And there's the pass to Embiid. Outside for George. Back to Embiid. And Embiid throws it down.
And he can do a lot more damage to the rim than that when he wants to.
Oh, you're right. And with the lead they're enjoying, I'm surprised he didn't put a little something extra on that one. Shot is good, and the 76ers lead is cut down now to just 6 points with that basket from Castro. And entertaining as always, Bill, thank you so much for stopping by. We always appreciate your time.
Thank you. Just, I don't want to do any Celtic games. Can we not do that? I don't want to see that team. Let's do the other teams.
Okay. Doris, you read most reporters, they try to stay impartial, but not Bill Simmons.
I think that's what makes him special, Kevin, right? He has his own lens through which he sees things, and he is unafraid to give you his opinion.
So it's Boston now, after Josh Richardson was able to get the triple. Knocked away. Embiid with the steal. Outside, George. Passes it to Embiid. Outside for George. Again, Philadelphia.
You've got to be prepared on the catch to release quickly, and Paul George does that as well as anyone in the league.
This one for three. The shot comes out. Now the 76ers take it the other way. They'll be playing host to Chicago for their next game. And that'll be the middle game of their 5 and their longest homestand of the year. Richardson the pass to Embiid. Gobert trying to get open. And Embiid the bucket on the assist by Richardson. Embiid's got the lead up to 13 now for Philadelphia. Here's Clutch. From deep, and that would have counted, but his shot was off the mark this time. So it's the Philadelphia 76ers, 13 points up at the end of the period. They have made it very tough to get a shot off against them. Their defense has been stifling. We've got more in store for you right after this.
And now, the 2K Sports Halftime Show.
Welcome back, everybody. This home crowd is elated about what they've seen so far. I'm Ernie Johnson. That's Shaquille O'Neal. That's Kenny Smith. Philadelphia finds themselves ahead after 2 quarters. They have a 13-point lead. And over to Shaq. What did you think about Philadelphia?
Talk about a guy who's built out his game. Josh Richardson. Once overlooked, drafted in the 2nd round, his game has translated to the NBA much better than people expected. He showed that once again, first half, all about Josh Richardson.
Kenny, how'd you think the Celtics were playing?
Well, they shot under 40% in the first half. Here's your deficit. They missed some open looks, wide open. But overall, I thought the offense was stagnant. Look for their coach to draw up some specific plays to try to jumpstart them in the second half.
And it's just about time now for the 3rd quarter to get underway.
Well, we've got a second half of basketball for you. We think it's going to be pretty good. A big comeback, though, is needed for this game to be competitive, and it probably has to happen quickly. We've seen Josh Richardson really having a great game.
Yeah, and just look at the numbers from the first half. He has been very efficient.
I think they've taken their time. They've showed incredible patience. It's a sign of a well-coached ball club.
And there wasn't too much drama in the first half, but maybe things will tighten up here in the second. Doris, who are some of your favorite players to interact with, interview, and question as you go through the season?
Yeah, I mean, there's so many guys. I think, you know, certain people really give a lot of thought to their answers. So a Kyrie Irving, he wants to explain what he's thinking. He's willing to share and take a moment and consider the question. Kevin Durant, Steph Curry, Damian Lillard, all of these guys, when I ask a question, Kev, they'll pause for a moment, consider the question, and then respond. And for somebody who's got to interview, there's nothing greater than having those guys willing to take some time with me.
Well, Doris, and you always get great answers from them, too. So there's a great rapport there, I can see. Second half underway. Here's who Brad Stevens got on the floor. Brown and Hayward, they're the wings. Mitchell Robinson out there with Jason Tatum. And it's Castro in at the point guard. And on our sideline, our reporter, David Aldridge.
Well, Kevin, tampering is a touchy subject, but it's a word we're hearing more often. Teams want to retain their star players, but they know that there's always talk during a season. Now, teams can only express interest in a player when he hits free agency. But players can talk amongst each other freely all season. Star players like LeBron James are tied into their front offices. And some people wonder if there's much of a difference between what the player says and what his team is thinking. Kevin?
Good point, David. Thank you. And there's Gobert putting it right back in.
Well, we've seen that movie a few times, haven't we? An easy bucket in the paint.
Guys, they're looking for a way to score here.
Yeah, they've had a tough time taking the lid off.
Now Hayward. He has 5. Pass to Castro. 5 to shoot. Teardrop shot, and it's good on the way in. Clutch has got 6.
He knew what he wanted to do all along. The teardrop.
And Embiid has got the ball here for Philadelphia. Pass to Fultz. 2 minutes into the second half of play now. Swiped away. Here's Castro. Drops in the breakaway layup. Clutch has got 4 points in the quarter.
You know, if you're only looking at the way he's played offensively, you think his team would have the lead. And the Celtics, Brad Stevens, one of the youngest head coaches in the league and also one of the more respected.
And Greg, I was surprised that he didn't get any Coach of the Year votes 2 seasons ago. Think about it. The Celtics overcame injury to make the Eastern Conference Finals. Last season, he admitted his most trying in the 12 years as a coach. Boy, he is looking to get them back on track.
And the 76ers will go for a different look here. Ryan is checked in for Embiid. Clint Capella comes in for Gobert. Tobias Harris is checked in for Richardson. And Trey Burke subbed in for Fultz. And then for Boston, Cantor is checked in for Mitchell Robinson. Daniel Tice comes in for Gordon Hayward. And Walker subbed in for Brown. Now here's Burke. On the wing, Harris. 6 to shoot. Great D that time from Tatum. Celtics trail by 11. A little over 2.5 minutes off the clock in this final half of play. Had a chance there to cut it to single digits, but it's off target. Philadelphia leading by 11. Here's Harris. Shooting foul as the whistle blows. He'll shoot 2 free throws. It goes on Jason Tatum.
Well, you look at the career of Tobias Harris, and, boy, he's bounced around a bit. Has never slowed his development or production, though. You put him anywhere, and he'll find a way to help his team.
First free throw is good. And with Harris, he's been moved so many times. You know what, Greg? You forget he's still quite young.
Yeah, I mean, he really is just starting to enter what should be the prime of his career. Has improved every offseason and is a great rebounder and scorer.
And the 76ers making a change here. Fultz is checked in. Celtics trail by 12. Here's Walker. Lays it up off the glass. Walker's got 10 points.
Well, he is so efficient, so productive. But for them to have real success, he needs help.
There's the pass to Bryant. Stolen by Smart. Here's Tatum. Good, and Smart gets the assist. Tatum's got it back down to a single-digit deficit for the Celtics. Fultz looking around. To the inside. George.
Well, for so much of what Paul George brings to the table, you have to start with his defensive impact. He is one of the top defenders in the league at his position, if not the best.
The 76ers shooting their third and fourth free throw attempts of the game.
And last season, 77% from the line. They could usually get the job done there.
The first one falls.
Well, Paul George smack dab in the middle of the prime of his career, and maybe underestimated is his drive to win.
Biyombo is checked in for Cantor. And both free throws good for Paul George.
An efficient night from the line. This is a guy who puts in the work and it pays dividends.
Now here's Walker, guarded by Fultz. Pass to Tatum. Shot clock at 5. Lays it up and banks it in.
And they are attacking the rim and getting great results.
And here's George. He'll bring it up for the Philadelphia 76ers. The biggest lead of the game, 15 points. Fires at the elbow. Capella, and it's put back up and in by Capella. And the 76ers lead by 10.
Just in a perfect position to grab that rebound and then get the putback.
In the corner, Smart with it. That falls. Nice feed that time from Walker. Smart's got himself going there. His first points of the game on the deep ball. 3-second difference between shot clock and game clock. Fultz the pass to Bryant. He dishes it to Harris. Shot clock at 6. Back to Bryant. Shoots over Biyombo. Misses the J after tricking the D with the nifty pass fake. And so it's Philadelphia heading to the bench with a 7-point lead as we wrap up the quarter. A good size advantage, and they'll look to increase it. And we'll be back with you shortly. And a chance right now to show you our State Farm assist of the game.
Just true artistry right there. I mean, great decision on where to go with the ball, and how about the perfect delivery?
We call that, Greg, putting it right in the pocket, and he knew what to do with it once it was there.
And this is it. Glad to have you along for this fourth and final quarter. Richardson and Harris filling out the wings. Rudy Gobert is out there with Joel Embiid, and it's Fultz in at the 1 spot. That's the group on the floor for Philadelphia. Gobert with the block.
An intimidating force who continues to wipe away shots with ease. Go to work, Rudy Gobert.
And contact on the shot, so he'll be shooting free throws here.
Nice work to get it inside and draw the contact.
Interesting story about Rudy Gobert. He was an excellent student in high school, but he was getting into physical fights. So what does his mom do? Play sports, my son. Track and field, martial arts, even ping pong. What I love, though, is he has not lost that tough disposition.
He's off on the first. And Doris, especially at that center position. You know, GMs like a player with a fighting spirit.
Rudy Gobert plays with a chip on his shoulder and a competitive spirit. A lot of 7-footers, Kevin, play the game simply because of their size. Rudy Gobert wants to be great.
No good at the stripe this time. Second misses also.
And they're drawing more whistles and working their way to the line here in the second half.
Walker taking his time here, and the foul on Josh Richardson. That's his first foul.
That's his first personal foul.
And Robinson wide open. He shoots. Plenty of room to knock down the shot.
And they found the touch from the field here in the second half. It was a struggle in that first.
Now here's Fultz. Richardson outside. Lets it go from 11. Can't hit that one. Celtics trail by 5. Here's Walker. That's good. He's 5 for 9.
And that field goal percentage climbing now above 50%. They look like a different team here in the second half.
Now here's Richardson. Here's Fultz. The three-pointer no good. For Boston, they've gone 2 of 3 from the field to get the fourth quarter started. And foul on the shot, so he'll get a chance at the line.
You talk about players that have transformed their bodies in the NBA. How about Gordon Hayward? Has added muscle every year while maintaining that speed and agility.
Shooting 2.
The free throw drops by Hayward. You know, Greg, when he came into the league, Hayward looked so young. You almost don't recognize him now.
I mean, the suit of armor from his time in the weight room and the hair looking sharp to match.
Here's what Boston's going with right now. Cantor comes in for Biyombo, and it's clutch in for Kemba Walker. Hayward hits them both.
Well, Gordon Hayward seems to get better and better every year this guy is in the NBA. And the thing maybe that's my favorite about him, he does whatever is requested to put the team in a position to win.
And the layup's good off the glass. 10 points for clutch.
And you talk about fighting your way back into a game. They've shown a lot of grit in this comeback.
Yeah, to start off with so many mistakes and still now find a way where everything's working, it allows their momentum and confidence to continue to build.
Wow, he is lighting it up here in the second half.
And we're about 2 minutes into the fourth quarter now. And Philadelphia calls time here.
Yeah, things not going their way, and he wants to just try to talk this one over.
Well, night in and night out, sometimes it's a battle of runs. Who has the most?
All right, let's catch up with our sideline reporter, David Aldridge.
Well, during the break, I listened in on Brett Brown's huddle with his team. He really got after him in the huddle. He said, look, you can rest after the game. You got to put it all out there if you want to win this one. Back to you guys.
Now, here's Fultz. He's guarded closely. They need this. Robinson pulls it in. Boston leading by 3. This offense has really been clicking.
And they know it, guys. They're playing right now with the kind of energy that is hard to deal with.
Hayward can hit.
Boy, 9 times out of 10, that's going in. I'm sure he surprised himself with the miss.
For 3, Harris. The basket good off the assist from Fultz. Fultz has got 3 assists in the game. Celtics have gotten 4 of their 6 shots to fall so far here in the fourth. A pretty nice efficiency there. Here's Castro. And another one in the scoring column for him. He's 7 of 10 from the field.
That is a really pretty finish. Just gently dropped in the finger roll.
Pass to Embiid. A minute 50 left in the game. For three, Harris. Good on the three-point shot. Harris has got 6 points in the quarter.
And that was the right call. When you need a basket, go to the guys you trust the most.
Well, you've got to earn trust and equity by making shots. Nice delivery there.
Time called here. The Celtics decide to talk it over. They trail by 1. There's a minute 47 left here in the fourth quarter. And now we get the chance to present our Jordan Player of the Game, Josh Richardson.
And he's had the hot hand tonight, Kevin, no doubt about it. He's gotten his field goal percentage up over 60, and you're only going to get it that high when you're taking good, smart shots.
Paul George, he's checked in for Philadelphia. There's a minute 47 left in the fourth quarter. Here's Clutch, guarded by Fultz. Here's Castro, falls right in. He is 8 for 11 with that shot. Well, as we move into the fourth, it's been an even game.
Guys, teams have exchanged the lead 5 times thus far.
And here's Fultz. Here's Embiid. Robinson with the block. Here's Castro. Good for his 9th make in just 12 shots. That's an even 75% shooting.
Well, you can tell there's a team-first mentality with the young gun Jason Tatum working to find the open teammate. Nice.
Now here's Fultz. Feeds it to Embiid. Gobert dishes to Embiid. Second shot opportunity. It's in! And what a sensational bucket to bring them within 1.
So much riding on that shot. What a bucket.
I'll tell you, that changes things, doesn't it? Good job, young fella. What a game.
Castro. And too long on the shot. Game could be on the line right here.
It's now or never.
Now here's Fultz. Tight defense on him. Robinson with the block. 5-second differential between the shot clock and the game clock. Here's Clutch, guarded by Fultz. Clock at 6. Here's Clutch with the shot. Set it up with the fake, but it's offline. And Philadelphia calls time here. They're trailing by 1. Just 4 seconds left in the fourth quarter. deep three-point range. Oh, that shot had a chance, but no good. And so it's Boston scraping by with the win. They break the hearts of every fan in the building with a dramatic victory.
And Kevin, this is the kind of win you have to take a ton of pride in. I mean, they battled with everything they had and came through when the pressure was at its highest.
And that's going to do it tonight, folks, for our broadcast. For Greg Anthony, Doris Burke, and David Aldridge, this is Kevin Harlan saying thanks for tuning in. See you next time.